Hello there, and welcome to another week of the weekly psychic reviews. So we're doing this from the 27th of April, Monday the 27th, through to Sunday the 3rd of May. So I hope you've had a good week. You've been keeping well. I just want to say just a quick shout out to all those people that sent me beautiful comments and messages about being a little unwell last week and being able to not able to do the weekly reading. Thank you very much. It was so nice, so very nice to get all those beautiful messages. Thank you. So yeah, just to let you know how I work. So I work with my guides and all those in spirit who love me. What I do is I ask them to come close to give everyone out there exactly all as best I can with what they need for the upcoming week, giving them all the healing that they require for the week, and any tips, techniques, practices, anything else that spirit feels is relevant to you for this upcoming week. Okay, so just give me a sec. I'll just tune in, seal off, call my guides in, and we'll get on with the weekly review. All right, so they just said relax, really relax. There's a fair bit of anxiety out there and around people and around what's so just closing the window from that noise next door. A bit of anxiety about or the different situation with the coronavirus, how long this is going to go for, and how if everyone's going to be okay. And the other thing is everything going to get back to normal? Is everything going to be the same? And they're saying how it was, and they're saying, well, no, not quite. Actually, it's not going to be the same. And the reason for that is because when you've had such a global sort of change as what's occurred and what's occurring at the moment, is it changes the fundamentally the perceptions of the people on the planet, and this happens throughout cities, countries, and globally as well. And what happens is people really, they change their perception of themselves, they change their perception of the world, of their life, and of actually what they want from their life and from what they want around them. And there's that real sort of time in which there's, you've really got a beautiful gift here and a beautiful sort of option to really review your life and to really review what you've been doing. And they're just telling me, watch out for your thinking, review your thinking, review how you see things. Do you get involved in stinking thinking throughout your day, and how often do you do that? And how often do you get involved in uplifting and really happy thinking as well? And it's that thing, hey, if you're doing a bit of stinking thinking, hey, that's pretty normal. It happens to all of us, happens to me, happens to everyone. It's quite normal. But it's that thing about when that happens, be aware of how, of it happening, about, when you start to get into that groove, well, there's only kind of one place it takes you, and that's to basically a dark place, a place that's not full of joy, that makes you not feel very good, lowers your vibration, all kinds of crazy scenarios come up, not really cool. And it's that thing about, how often do you think about the really uplifting and joyful things? And, because the thing is, your cells listen to you, and we've got trillions of cells throughout our body. And the way our mind works, you can actually check this out. There's been scientific studies which have proven this, is that the more you think about a particular thing, those neural pathways in your brain get stronger and stronger. And if you're thinking about, dark things, things which, put your body at stress, which puts you in anxiety, depression, things that are uncomfortable, basically putting yourself in a stress mode or a stress response, a fight or flight, hypervigilant, whatever you want to call it, basically not an uneasy state. The more that you keep thinking about this, and then when it pops up, you keep going down that road, is it strengthens those neural channels in your mind. And what happens when you are aware of this, you know, you're stinking thinking, when you're aware of this and you go, hang on a minute, I know that when I think about this, it puts me into a place where it doesn't feel very good, basically. So what I can do is I can be aware as best I can. When I start having these feelings, thoughts, or whatever, you know, leads on to stinking thinking, and then what I'm going to do is go, actually, I'm going to be aware of it. Now I realize I'm doing it. I'm going to give myself an opportunity here. I'm going to be aware. So I can either continue down the road I've been going on and continue thinking about, you know, bad stuff and, you know, catastrophe and all that kind of stuff, which I know where it's going to end up. It's going to end up, you know, in a pretty ordinary place. Or I can go, okay, I'm going to allow that to go, and I'm going to just think about something really fun, really enjoyable, whatever it may be. It can be anything at all, anything that brings you pleasure, anything that is uplifting and happy and beautiful and feels really good. Now, what's going to happen is when you start to be aware of this, you're actually going to go, damn, actually, I'm thinking, you know, I feel like I'm you know, doing more stinking thinking than I realize. And you're actually going to be aware of the fact that quite often during the day, you know, you head down that negative pathway. And now with this too, you're going to have a choice. You're going to go, you can either get bummed out about it and go, oh shit, this isn't cool. You know, I'm not thinking, you know, I realize how much I'm thinking about bad stuff or negative stuff. Or you can go, well, I'm just being aware of what's always happening, what's been happening subconsciously. And then at that time, you can give yourself a pat on the back, you can congratulate yourself for being aware of it. And then you can go towards, you know, thinking something nice, something happy, something positive. Now, the more that you do this, and as you go to change this, because your mind, your emotions, your neural pathways, all the chemicals in your brain and all the different things, I could go into it in a really big way, but I want to make it short and sweet as much as I can. When you start trying to change this, your body, your brain's going to fight back, because it's like, hey, we don't operate in this way, you know. We're so, you know, it's going to try to pull you back into those old practices and old ways. But, you know, just do the best you can. And the more that you do this, and this goes, they're telling you about the bubble, the white bubble, putting your stuff into a white bubble and throwing it up, and asking spirit to take it. You know, that I've told on a previous reading, the thing is, the more you do that, the more you're going to start, you know, creating a different pathway. You're going to start going down a different road. And on that different road, it's going to be happier, it's going to be brighter, it's going to be more vibrant, more loving, you know. And after a while, that old pathway, those neural pathways, whatever you want to call it, or even a road, it's going to get overgrown. It's going to start dying off because you're not using it as much. And the new way of thinking, the new way of you being, is a much happier, more joyful place. Give yourself some time and congratulate yourself every time you're able to do this, and know that nobody's perfect, okay? You know, some people will be able to do this reasonably quickly, some people will take a little bit longer. Doesn't really matter. You know, the thing is about doing your best and just keeping at it, you know, a bit like the turtle in the hare, just keep at it, nice and slow and steady, just keep at it, just keep at it. Things will change, okay? And the other thing is, everybody has bad days every now and then, and everybody, you know, doesn't feel good sometimes. That's a normal, natural state of being a human as well. If we're always on this high and always in this uplifted, you know, extremely happy state, you know, that's more of a neurosis than anything. You know, that's like a mental condition. Because you're not actually being real, you're not actually feeling what's going on. And it's that thing about not feeding into that. So just, if you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. Start later in the day, start later on, start tomorrow, whatever the case may be. Just do your best, okay? And the thing is too, they're saying that, you know, with this coronavirus and everything like that, more specifically, they're talking about Australia, is it's going to be over sooner than you think. And one way of actually helping this, and one thing that a friend of mine mentioned to me about a week or two ago, I thought was an incredibly beautiful thing to do, and then I actually heard it through a channel of somebody else at 11 past 11 every day. If you can just take out 1 minute when it hits 11:11, set your alarm for 10 past 11 when 11:11 hits. Okay, so just visualize and picture yourself being in an incredible state of happiness. Just for 1 minute. Just try this for 1 minute. If you can do this every day, just for 1 minute. And as you're picturing yourself, and you're, you know, it's important to marry this with your feeling, with the visual, with, you know, really putting yourself in that situation. As you're seeing yourself doing lots of awesome stuff, everything's perfect, everything's really good. Seeing other people around you being really happy, you know, feeling really good, and all of this COVID-19 stuff is completely finished. Okay, so if everyone can do that just for 1 minute at 11:11, it's going to create quite a large sort of energy. And with that large energy, you know, the dark stuff, the heavy stuff, the COVID-19 stuff, all the negativity around that, it's got nowhere to go. It has to be released. It has to be disintegrated. It has to be removed from, you know, from your system and then from people around you, blah, blah. So it's that thing, like if you can get 10 people doing this at one time, it's equal to about 40 people doing this when we're all working together in unison. And actually it's, well, they're telling me it's about times 10, times 15. So whatever, yeah, that is. So anyway, talked a lot about that, so I want to get on with the weekly reading. So what do we got for Monday? So Monday, it's funny, there's a bit of stuff in my throat, but there's a bit of a groove as well. Okay, so they're saying, okay, you can either on Monday, because I can feel a bit of up and down energy here. So on Monday, it's like you can either get caught up in the emotion and have the anxiety, because I can feel a lot of anxiety in my throat. So you can either get caught up in the anxiety about the situations that are going to be occurring, or you can see things for actually what they are. Step back out of the situation. It's not going to change the situation, but you can change the way you feel about it. So you can actually, if you feel this anxiety coming up, go, okay, I feel this anxiety coming up. I'm not going to play into it. Okay, I'm not going to try to delude myself that this stuff isn't happening. It's just that thing. I'm just not going to feed into it. And then what can I do about it? Get systematic, get grounded, do some grounding, and then go, okay, what can I do here? What are the facts? How can I groove my way through this? How can I follow through this without it, you know, getting too much in my head? Okay, so for Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday feels like a real purging, actually. I can feel a lot of stuff being purged. So they're saying, depending on what you did on Monday and how you went with this, you're going to have the opportunity to release some stuff from your system, to be able to let go. I can feel quite a lot of stuff coming up, actually. This is a really good thing. So yeah, just brushing that away because it was a bit intense. Okay, so it's a bit about that purging thing. So, you know, it could be purging around your house, your thoughts, your feelings, you know, different things, putting yourself in a good place. Are you going to let go of the stuff that's not good for you and go into the stuff that is good for you? And just do your best for that. Okay, so Wednesday, what's on Wednesday? So Wednesday, it's fun. Oh, I could feel, you know, it was my heart opening. So it's that thing about, you know, on Wednesday, you know, how can you, as best you can, even if you can only do this for 30 seconds during the day, you know, do as best you can about putting yourself in that place. They're saying that, you know, in that place of everything is okay. You know, that you're going to be okay. It's about living in your heart space. It's about opening your heart as best you can. And it's about, you know, opening your heart and going, okay, well, you know, there might be a bunch of stuff going on at the moment, but I know that the more centered I can be, the more I can live in my heart space, the more I can, you know, not get caught up in all the emotional things. I'm going to be able to flow through this, and I'm going to be able to purge things quite a lot. And then they're saying, be good to yourself. If you can, give yourself a bit of a treat, whether that's a bath, a walk, buy yourself flowers, buy yourself something nice to eat, whatever it may be. So this goes on for Thursday. And so Thursday, it's a little bit about being of service. So they're saying too about, you know, this goes to being of service with other people, and it goes to being about being of service to yourself as well. And it's that thing that they both kind of really overlap. And, you know, this doesn't really get talked about a lot. So when you are being of service to somebody else, you know, you're doing it truly, and you're doing this with a pure intent and a true heart, and you just want to do something really nice for somebody, that actually lifts your vibration. And whether that's, you know, congratulating somebody on something really awesome that they did, you know, it could be actually helping somebody out, it could be whatever it may be. So it's that thing about when you help others, you're actually uplifting yourself. And same. When you actually, you know, uplift yourself and you put yourself in a better position, a better heart space, you know, feeling more centered, feeling more loved, feeling more upbeat within yourself, you know, feeling a lot happier within yourself, that actually exudes from you. And people want to be around you. You know, people want to go, hey, you know, how come you're feeling so good? You know, at the moment, you know, I want whatever you've got, I want some of that. So it's that thing about, you know, be of service to yourself, be of service to others. So Friday, what's on Friday? Friday, they're saying just have some fun, relax, you know, enjoy yourself. Even if I'm laughing because they said, even if that means, hey, it's the end of a big week, you want to sit down and have a couple of beers. And if you can't do this with somebody you really, you know, want to share it with and with your friends and that sort of thing, get on the computer, get on the phone, you know, have a bit of a messenger session, a Zoom, a Skype, whatever it is, you know, video call one another. Have a beer with somebody if you want a beer or a red wine, you know, have a bit of a chat, you know, connect with them, celebrate it. So have a bit of fun, enjoy yourself, bit of playtime. So this goes into Saturday as well. So Saturday, it's funny, there's a bit of a up and down feeling here. So there's quite a lot of restrictions and constraints. I can feel like people getting a bit pissed off about the restrictions and not being able to do things, not being able to leave their house and that sort of thing. But it's that thing too about going, okay, so, you know, if you can't change what's going on, there are certain restrictions going on with being able to move around and do different things. So what can you do now to be more constructive, to have a bit more fun, to enjoy yourself, you know? And it's that thing about, you know, sort of going into the creativities coming into it. So it's about how can you, you know, be more creative about your time. Are you going to sit around and watch Netflix all day, you know, that sort of thing? Or you're going to go, oh, wow, there's a lot of really cool podcasts around. You know, I can listen to some podcasts, listen to some interesting information. I can read a book, you know, I can do some things like that. You know, and I can still get out, you know, get outside, do some exercise, go for a walk, stuff like that, which really goes into Sunday. And they're saying too, you know, this is about family, and they're saying that family, and what I mean by family, you know, it doesn't have to be blood family. You know, I know quite a lot of people out there, they actually don't have much to do with their blood family, and that's completely fine, you know, but it's that thing about, you know, who's your family? And I've talked about this before. It could be Brahma Bang Bang, you know, my beautiful pussycat that I live with. Could be your friends, or it could actually be your blood family. Whatever your family is, connect with them. This is about connection. So, you know, Sunday, it's about connecting with them as best you can. So that might be, you know, on the phone. It might be video call. It might be... you know, in any other way that you want to do it. But they're saying be creative and have a bit of fun and let go a little bit as well. So there's this real energy coming in with the child and connecting with the inner child. So it's that thing, you know, like I'm seeing those adult colouring books, seeing, you know, people with kids, they're, you know, sitting around playing with them. Or it could just be, you know, doing something that, you know, you really enjoyed when you were a kid, whatever that may be, you know, and it could be just doing a bit of research about, hey, what creative stuff can we do? There's been so many different groups come up, you know, different ideas on YouTube, you know, what do I do in isolation? Hey, have a look at them, see what comes up, okay? You know, you might find something really cool, do something really different, this sort of thing. Okay, so, and I'm just getting a feeling to say, if you can get to the water, jump in the water, really good. If you can have a bit of a cleanse in the ocean, have a bath, that sort of thing too, you know, clean all the stuff off. And what you can do is just, yeah, ask the ocean, ask the water to just cleanse all the junk from your system, as well as asking spirit as well. Really good and easy way to get a cleansing and a healing. And Okay, so just coming to the end of it now, I just wanted to thank you all for watching me. And, you know, thank you to all those people who have liked my page recently. I've just changed the name of my page, so I'm rebranding, going from Golden Lotus Healing and Reading to David M. John. My name, it's the same name as my website, if you want to have a look at that. So yeah, like me, share me, you know, all that sort of stuff. Love having that, love getting your comments as well. It always put a smile on my face Monday morning when I'm having my coffee, and you know, I can look at the comments that I've received. Really cool, really awesome. And thank you very much, everyone, for that. So, yeah, so that's the end of the reading for this week. But I just wanted to tack on something just at the end here. I've been asked quite a few times by people, and people have rung me up because I'm available for, you know, absent appointments. I'm available for in-person appointments too, readings, healings, counselling, mentoring, all kinds of different things, past life readings. You know, just ask me, and if I do it, we can talk about options. But one thing people have been, you know, have asked me about is, how can you do a reading for somebody if they're in a different state or if they're in a different country? You know, how can you tune into them? How can you get specific information for them? And just to let you know, I do work with people in a lot of different countries around the world. I've worked with people as far as Dubai, the UK, yeah, even in Austria, Switzerland, things like that. Not Switzerland, actually, Austria. Sorry, I just wanted to say that. And the reason and how I can do this and how I can do a reading is that we, you know, when we're here, when we're not in physical form, you know, we're part of Source, God, whatever you want to call it, Great Spirit, you know, we're all part of that. And we've all got a higher self. And on top of that, we've all got guides. Every single person here has got a guide. So what I'm able to do, whether it's on the phone or Skype, Zoom, whatever it is what I can do is, if you can imagine, you know, we're down here, we've got our higher selves up here with spirit and all that sort of thing and our guides. What I'm actually able to do is, you know, connect with my guides, because when I do readings, I work with my guides and I work with your guides. I'm able to hook into my guides. I'm able to, you know, have a chat with them. Then your guides are there too. Out in my guides and your guides, they join together. You know, not join as a person, but they hang out, basically. You know, they hang out. So what I'm able to do when I'm working with people absently is I'm able to, you know, hook into the information that's coming from your guides and coming from my guides down to me. Whether you're on the other side of the world, whether you're just in the next state, doesn't actually matter. And because in spirit, there's no time, there's no distance, and, you know, we're all kind of operating all in the same sort of, in the same time. Yeah, there's no linear time at all. So what I can do is, yeah, I get information straight from your guides and then give it straight to you. It's a bit like, you know, sort of information being beamed by satellite, if you want to think about it in that way as well, if that makes it a bit easier to get your head around. But look, I don't know if I've explained it quite well there. I just wanted to throw it out there. I've had a few people asking. If you want to know any more about absent readings and how they work, if you want to give me a call, all my details are below. I can explain it in a lot more detail and answer any questions you have. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have about this. And I do find it, especially if I'm doing this, it's a little bit easier for me on the phone than it is by email or text message. But I'm more than happy to answer your emails and your text messages as well. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it there. Thanks very much for joining me. I hope you've had a beautiful week, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.